All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television show in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, I'm going to be showing you my entire Stephen R. Bakker. No, I got that wrong. I was thinking of Stephen R. Donaldson. No, it's not Stephen R. Bakker. It's R. Scott Bakker. But I'll edit all that part out so it won't look like I made a mistake. My entire R. Scott Bakker book collection. Now here's the thing. The dude ain't written that many books, but what books he's written are magnificent. And I've got probably 90% of them right here. Which is probably what a lot of you already have too. But I wanted to discuss this series, and in particular, the books as a whole, just aesthetically, how they're designed, things like that. So R. Scott Bakker is probably one of the best craftsmen as far as writing goes in the fantasy genre. I mean, his writing is just impeccable. These books, and I'll show them to you one at a time here, but his two series, he's got a trilogy and then a 4-book series, both series set in the same sort of grim, dark world. And I'm telling you, books don't get any grimmer than these. So if you're into grimdark, this guy's almost the king of grimdark. It's just absolutely grim, dark, and beautifully written all at the same time. In fact, R. Scott Bakker's literary agent, Chris Lotz, is a person that I do know. And I've had many conversations with Chris Lotz, and Chris Lotz told me R. Scott Bakker is the closest you can get in the scale of world building and just prose and writing skills to Frank Herbert that anybody's ever come to. And I kind of agree. I think that this is the Dune of fantasy. R. Scott Bakker's agent would agree with that. And in fact, his agent put the idea in my head, and it's stuck ever since. But anyway, let's take a look at the books. There's only 7 here, so you're like, well, that's not much of a collection, Durf. What are you doing? I mean, you collect authors that have written hundreds of books, and you've shown us book collections with hundreds. Are you just going to show us 7? Yeah, I'm just going to show you 7. But I think this is an important 7 books, especially in the fantasy genre. And let's start with the first trilogy, which I think is utterly brilliant. And I've read and reviewed the first one on the channel, and I want to read and review the second one soon. But the first one is called The Darkness That Comes Before. The second one is The Warrior Prophet. And book 3 is The Thousandfold Thought. Now, if we hold these books up together, I think this is a really, really nice set of paperback novels. I think they're designed great by Overlook Press. I like the spines. They all match up. They have all got the number of the book on there, you know. Book 1 of The Prince of Nothing. I mean, you can see the covers. They've just used a simple design on the covers, and they didn't hire an illustrator to do these. They just went out and picked up some probably stuff that was in the public domain from old-timey paintings, you know, and then they made it work, and it looks good together. Now the second set of books is a series of 4 books set in the same world as this. It's a sequel of sorts. And now we've got book 1. Now this is where I have a little bit of problem with the collection. And this is where publishers kind of, I don't know why publishers make just bizarro decisions with the design of things. Because as you look at this set of books, you can see that book 1 here has a little bit of a different theme going on the spine. And on the, now, if we set these together, this is what bothers me, and it bothers a lot of people who buy books. So you got the trilogy over here. You got the 4 books over here. Book 1 has a different sort of theme going. Like these 3 books have the circle with the man's face in it. Meanwhile, book 1 has a theme that more similarly goes with that set of books. So it almost looks like these should be a 4-book series and this a trilogy. But no, these 3 books go together. This one goes over here. All together, I mean, it's nitpicking, folks. I'm nitpicking. But it just bothers me that this book is book 1 in this series, not book 4 in this series. Does that make sense? It's just absolutely mind-boggling why publishers do such horseshit maneuvers like that. I mean, my God, it's not even hard to figure this out, and you can't. I mean, oh, Lord have mercy, I'm just going to blow a gasket. And this is just minor compared to what other publishers have done with book series and just making it a cluster of nonsensical bullshittery. Holy, anyway. Why? Why on God's green fucking earth? Change. I mean, just keep it. This is the one you went with on book 1. Why switch it up for the other 3 books? Why not just keep it consistently? And then you can have a fucking consistent 7 books instead. Oh, look, I want to burn the world to the ground. Okay. But the covers, okay, so let's look at the cover. So this is the cover of book 1, The Judging Eye. I think it's cool. Like I said, it follows the same exact theme that we had for this first trilogy. And then we get book 2, The White Luck Warrior, which has a dude's face in the middle. Okay, so all right, the typeface, I mean, everything matches. It's just a little different type of cover image. I'm not too worried about that. It's just the spines, people. And then book 3 is another face. So now with books 2, 3, and 4, we're going with this whole other theme. And God, I had such promise for this video that we would just be praising R. Scott Bakker, and it's derailed. I derailed it right off. I derailed it halfway through to just you know, take a complete shit all over the publishers. But they deserve it. I mean, they fucking deserve it. Okay, that's the collection. I think I pumped up how awesome the stories are in the beginning. And the covers, I mean, honestly, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. It's just little minor things like that that can just drive. Or maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. In fact, I think I'm the problem. Really, I am the problem. This up here is not a problem. The universe will continue. I'm the problem. These are issues that I and my therapist need to work through. I think so.